So yesterday I got into it on Facebook regarding the adult entertainment industry, and I think I need a long video to clear up a few misconceptions. And I think the best place to start is with the stigma about guys who consume adult entertainment because they get way too much crap. First and foremost, ladies, if a guy is single, he has a right to watch whatever he feels like it. The thing is, a lot of you ladies are over here either posting OF accounts or demanding that men don't judge women who have OF accounts, and I'm okay with that. My problem is that y'all still hold men to outdated negative stigma based in conservative evangelical values. In fact, much of this video is going to be a major criticism of evangelicalism, but I'll get to that in a little bit. As for now, ladies, if y'all can defend women doing this stuff for a living, why do y'all continue to stigmatize the men who consume it and watch it? And I am saying this as a bachelor. I'm not seeing anyone. I still have physical needs. I'm gonna meet them any way I can. Now, if I get into a relationship and my partner asks me to stop watching it, of course I'm gonna stop. Why would I need that if I have somebody I can actually do it with? Having an actual partner is certainly preferable, but if it's not available, there are alternatives. In all honesty, I think that if you're bothered that much to the point that you won't even give a single guy a chance that you are otherwise into because he consumes that content, my question to you is there anything you provide in a relationship that he can't get with a Wi-Fi connection? Now, don't get me wrong, there is certainly a difference between casually watching it, which is 90% of the time, and being an addict. But at the same time, does drinking a single glass of wine a day make me an alcoholic? Hell, having a single glass of wine a day is actually quite beneficial. Alcohol is only a problem when you take it to excess. Then you're going to start having health issues. The same thing is true with adult entertainment. Most of us aren't going to have loss of brain cells. Our brain chemistry isn't going to be screwed up. That kind of thing happens when you're an addict, and truth be told, it has very little to do with the adult entertainment industry itself. And I can say this confidently because those are also symptoms and effects of video game addiction. If all you do all day every day is sit inside a dimly lit room watching a screen, of course it's going to cause problems. You're an addict. And in all honesty, it doesn't really matter what kind of content you're consuming. It could be YouTube videos, DVDs, movies. You're still going to lose brain cells and it's still going to alter your brain chemistry. That has nothing to do with adult entertainment itself. Most consumers of adult entertainment only do it at most a couple times a week. And usually it's to help them jerk off, which is actually a healthy habit. It helps maintain prostate health, it helps regulate testosterone levels, and it helps regulate your heart. Actually, just staring at titties will help regulate your heart, but you get the point. So yeah, much like consuming a little glass of wine a day, a little porn isn't going to hurt you. It's when you take it to excess that it's going to be a problem. And that simply applies with anything in life. So why do we specifically give guys who consume adult entertainment a hard time? Well, as for mentioned, it's because of evangelical conservatism. In fact, it's almost always evangelical conservatives who bring up the dead brain cells thing without any context of where those studies come from and what specifically they're looking at. And also, ladies, can y'all please start acknowledging that it's not just y'all who get shit from evangelicals regarding sexuality. Hetero men get it too. You really think I could just walk up to a group of nuns and whip my dick out and they're just gonna go, yeah, you're a man, you get to act like a complete slut? No, they're gonna smack me upside the head. Yes, I think it's wrong when Bible-thumping Jesus freaks give y'all shit because you're not dressed modestly or whatever, but keep in mind, men get it too. Men are also taught that they need to be modest, and they're taught that modesty and respect go hand in hand. Keep in mind, ladies, I used to be a Christian. I was devoutly Christian in my teenage years. I didn't go to church every Sunday. I spent my Sundays at church. I was in my church's youth choir. I stayed for all 3 services. Then I went home for lunch and came back for choir rehearsal, then attended the youth ministry that evening. And around this same time period, I had girls I went to school with that were throwing themselves at me that I refused to date. And the reason I refused to date them was because I was saving myself for marriage because that was my religious belief at the time. So ladies, you're not alone when you have an evangelical conservative parent who forces you to dress modestly and suppress your sexuality. That applies to the guys too. But ultimately, these teachings are the primary reason I am not a Christian anymore. Because eventually, by my early 20s, late teens, you had the rise of the Drunken Peasants podcast, YouTubers like Cult of Dusty, The Amazing Atheist, and of course the debate with Bill Nye and What's-His-Face who built the Noah's Ark Museum. As a devout Christian boy, I was happy to challenge my faith, and boy did it get challenged. And I abandoned it. And after I abandoned it, I came to the conclusion of, gee, why am I saving myself? This makes no logical sense. All my life, I was taught that my sexuality, my desire to just get laid once in a while, was deviant and shameful and that I should suppress it. So by the time I abandoned that train of thought, I didn't know how to engage in this type of behavior. I had to go through hell just to learn how to express my sexuality without coming off as a creep. And still to this day, in my early 30s, I am still struggling with this. When it comes to educating children about human sexuality, evangelical conservatism is the worst. What I dealt with was pretty mild compared to a lot of other people I have talked to over the years. When children start to develop these feelings in their early adolescence, they need a sound, logical, and scientific explanation for what they're going through, not a religious one. If all they ever hear is, keep it in your pants that you're married or you're going to burn in hell for eternity, they're not getting their questions answered, and they're gonna seek answers elsewhere. And sometimes that means young boys will turn to assholes like Andrew Tate for answers. Other times, they're gonna turn to the cheapest and easiest way to get a hold of adult entertainment, which is unfortunately the hub. I know, I've been defending a guy's right to consume adult entertainment without being judged for it, but the hub is a messed up business. Yes, I know the hub is free, and that's the problem. The hub in marketing terms is known as a loss leader, a product sold for a loss to bring in new customers, and that's exactly what it is. Which is why they bombard you with ads every time you log on. And they only take away the ads if you pay for premium. Everything about the hub is designed to be addictive. It's designed to get you hooked, to get you pursuing more extreme content. Even the black and orange color pattern that they use is designed to be addictive. So if kids are not getting a proper explanation for what they're feeling, they're going to seek it from sites like the hub. Now, some people might try to draw attention to the fact that the hub does have a sexual wellness program, but it's tucked away where people usually don't go looking for it, for a reason. Not to mention the hub does a terrible job of vetting who's posting what, which has enabled a lot of sex trafficking. So what do I actually recommend instead of using the hub? That's easy. OnlyFans. Yes, you gotta pay each individual model to view their content, and what's wrong with that? OnlyFans registration process is very strict. They do a very job of vetting out any potential predators from posting on that website. And because you're paying each model directly, you know that nobody is getting exploited. More importantly, you actually get to interact with the models. You can even exchange pictures with them and get an opinion on whether or not you look good. Ladies, believe it or not, guys are insecure about their looks too. They want to be told they look pretty, that they have a nice sized dick. I'm pretty sure y'all already knew that one though. But yes, OF models will tell you what they think about your dick. You can literally pay for that service. At the end of the day, you're getting what you pay for. OF may not be free, but it's not as shady either. It's not as addictive, and it's way more interactive. You're actually communicating with somebody. You learning how to open up and talk about this type of thing, and that is something you simply don't get with the hub. So while a lot of people might condemn or laugh at OF, the reality is it is a net positive for the adult entertainment industry, especially for the entertainers themselves. So in closing, sex work is work, and those who pay for the services should not be stigmatized either. What goes on between two or more consenting adults is neither the general public nor the government's business. And for all the evangelical conservatives out there who got a problem with this, did not Jesus himself say, "Let he who is without sin cast the first stone" in defense of a literal prostitute? Jesus spent so much time hanging out with prostitutes and teaching his disciples not to judge them lest they be judged. And when are y'all going to get the memo? You can whine about sex trafficking all you want. The reality is sex trafficking is empowered by the government prohibiting legal, safe sex work. Prohibition did not stop anyone from drinking alcohol. The war on drugs did not stop anyone from smoking weed. And criminalizing sex work has only empowered sex traffickers. If you really want to end sex trafficking, decriminalize sex work so that those who voluntarily partake in it can communicate with law enforcement and coordinate efforts against trafficking.